Hello Internet, I'm your only mate, and it's time for a new episode of Death Battle. This time we have Magneto from Marvel versus Tetsuo from Akira. Now, as I should say with all reaction videos, please click the link in the description below to go watch the actual episode itself before watching mine or anyone's reactions. Don't be a dick, support the official release. Okay, one thing I want to just quickly address, and that is that I'm wearing glasses at the moment. Yeah, I just wear these, like, practically all the time. It's just so I can, like, see things, like, at a distance, clearly. And I figured, well, I actually didn't really know how it looked like when I was recording anything, because I thought, okay, just, like, glare would reflect off of these. So, I'm just trying it out. Let me know how it is, because I can easily just get rid of them for the next episode. So, just throwing it out there. Alright, how do I know these characters? Magneto, I know quite a lot more. And that's mostly just from X-Men movies. The only ones I've seen are the first one, Origins Wolverine, unfortunately, First Class, Days of Future Past, and Apocalypse. I haven't seen the rest. Tetsuo, I mostly just know by name. I don't really know much about Akira, aside from there's, like, so much media that's, like, referenced it or just been inspired by it in some way. I don't know. But who do I think is going to win this fight? Magneto. I mean, yeah, I've got nothing else. I just think Magneto's going to win. Just from everything I know of the two, I just think he's just more powerful. So, I'm just going to go with that. I am going to just put these on, shut up, and hit play. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, yeah.
Magneto, Marvel's mutant master of magnetism.
Tetsuo Shima, Akira's telekinetic terror of Neo-Tokyo.
These two maestros of kinesis have ignited revolution not just in their worlds, but also the very mediums they exist within.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I've seen the preview and cast, and the fight looks great so far. I can't wait to see the rest of it.
Civilization. Likely no conflict tested humanity more than the Second World War. In the primary Marvel 616 universe,
yeah,
this
Magneto's
fact is
backstory,
no different, especially to the Eisenhart
it's
family
fucked.
and their only son.
You may know him as Magnus, Eric, or Max, but if you ask him, he'd say his true name is Magneto.
As a Jewish
It's
child
a pretty
of Nazi
neat
Germany,
name.
Magneto's early life was, well, extremely traumatic.
Even
Not really.
after eventually escaping certain death with his future wife, misfortune always followed wherever he went.
Thanks to his unexpected mutation.
There it is, Omega
called
level mutant.
XG,
I think
the
just
mark
that
of a
alone is
superhero.
kind of game.
After settling down in Russia with his new family, the KGB quickly found out about this quirk. So they burned his house down with his own
Look, it's not
daughter
my hero.
inside.
Naturally, he snapped.
I make a
and killed
joke
them all.
as they talk
I
about
don't
his
blame
daughter
him.
burning
I'd do that
alive.
too.
Way to go, me.
Too bad his wife didn't get it and ditched him, though. But that's when Magneto made a choice. Since humans hurt him his entire life, he'd do the same to them in the name of mutants everywhere.
At first, Magneto turned to the telepathic powerhouse Charles Xavier and his fledgling team of heroes. But his new friend wasn't thrilled with the idea of, subjugating the human race. So, Magneto formed his own team of mutants, the Brotherhood.
Magneto can telekinetically move, bend, and reshape any metal he's aware of. Bullets, vehicles, buildings, you name it. Even himself when he manipulates his personal magnetic field for flight and energy barriers.
Magnetic kinesis is far more versatile than it would appear.
Sorry,
at
I was
first glance.
constantly getting...
The blood in your body has iron in it. The air has traces of lead
There
and
we go.
mercury. Whole mountains are lined with metallic ore. The Earth itself is surrounded by a literal magnetic field.
Yeah,
So
Magneto's
many
powers are
toys
kind of
for Maggie to
busted.
play with. He can detect magnetic fields at such a huge range, he can even pinpoint Earth's magnetic rays while stranded on a planet in another galaxy. And guess what? He
Jesus.
was able to use those rays to pull himself back to Earth in a single day.
His range is even more remarkable than that.
Huh.
Did you know that in 1820,
Okay.
physicist Hans Christian Ørsted
My-
discovered that electric
not
currents
didn't necessarily
like
need
those
to
of
bring up
electrons
him
and protons and
reacting to
atoms, produce
Mjolnir.
their own magnetic fields.
Oh yeah, he did that.
Magneto can fine-tune his control to affect these very subatomic particles. Dummy here will illustrate such a
Hey,
particle
Dummy!
with positively charged protons and negative electrons.
My life is as meaningless as an atom is small.
So what you're saying is Magneto could, like, yank one of those out.
Correct, potentially changing an atom's entire chemical makeup. However, neutrons do not
Oh,
have
God.
a charge, and without the
Number six
ability
got that
to
look.
adjust those to accommodate the change in atomic mass, the atom would become unstable and
Finally!
do that. Magneto's violent protest against humankind clashed with Xavier's
Oh, that was a
peaceful
cool scene.
reconciliation, not unlike the ideologies taught by Malcolm X and Dr. King, by whom Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were inspired. Magneto would spend most of his career pushing Xavier away to prove his philosophies superior, which meant doing battle with Xavier's school of thought, quite literally.
And Baldy's mind powers are no joke, but thanks to Magneto's psionic repelling helmet, Professor X couldn't touch him. Magneto survived Cyclops'
The helmet
Earth-splitting
is
lasers,
pretty cool as
absorbed
well.
the power of the sun to battle Iron Man, ripped the adamantium skeleton out of Wolverine's body, and even taken on Hercules himself. You know, the Greek legend, Zero to Hero, the guy who held up the skies of Olympus for Atlas?
Jesus.
That Hercules.
Seems
I was about to
sensible.
bring up
Magneto
him on
used the
Wrestling
Earth's
4 as
magnetic
well.
field to overwhelm the Phoenix Force, which can effortlessly destroy planets, let alone far more.
Hell, if he really wanted to, Magneto could totally just fling the Earth off its axis.
It's entirely possible he may have
Huh.
eventually resorted to just that. Over time, it became clear Magneto's war was doing far more harm than good for his fellow mutants, however well-intentioned he may have been at first.
Luckily, he later realized he was going a bit overboard and began reevaluating his perspective. Good for you, Mags. It's really tough to recognize when you're the baddie.
It took time and patience not just from Magneto, but also
So I'm
from
not
his
talking too
peers.
much, I'm
Yet
just interested in
eventually,
learning
his
more
path
about
was
Magneto as
completely
well.
changed. He even became a leader for Xavier's X-Men.
But don't let his new goody two-shoes ways fool you. Whenever there's a threat to mutants, you can bet Magneto will be there to annihilate it. Forever, by any means necessary.
And I'm looking forward to him showing up in the MCU someday.
Over 30 years ago, a new type of bomb was set off over Tokyo, and 9 hours later, began the Third World War.
Welcome to 2030, or 2019 if you're watching the anime. The buildings are taller, the motorcycles are cooler, and the future is brighter. Oh, wait, not really.
was
If you
about
find
to say.
yourself in the Capsule Gang, you'll meet Shotaro Kaneda, who's like your textbook anime Chad. Gets the ladies, beats the baddies, and cops the sweetest rigs. Man, I need to get me one of those.
And there's the motorcycle
And
slide
then
that
there's the
inspired
little brother of
so many shots.
Kaneda's best friend, Tetsuo Shima. He's, well,
The exact opposite. A total wimp. As a kid, Tetsuo in his college thesis forehead got bullied for being the new kid at the orphanage. That's until Big Bro Kaneda came to the rescue.
eventually the two went to vocational school together and formed the Capsules. But Tetsuo was never satisfied with Kaneda being the leader of the pack. Tetsuo desired more than anything to be top dog.
Oh, I
Oh,
can just
boy.
see that monkey's paw curling in my mind. Or that kid walking down the street. Shit! Tetsuo, watch out! You're gonna... That definitely should have killed him. But since it didn't, Tetsuo earned himself a ticket to military confinement.
Tetsuo the kid.
Turns out they had an under-the-table program for developing child superweapons.
In the same program that
I mean, I don't know if the
backfired and
kid
jump-started
survived.
the war, Tetsuo became Japan's Esper number 41.
He may not have been a natural with bikes, baddies, or babes, but this telekinesis stuff hit different. He walked
Jesus.
out of that hospital ward effortlessly flying, reading minds, and blending people into strawberry jelly. Tetsuo got what he wanted. Power, along with the hunger for more of it.
A hunger that
Oh,
used
boy.
to only be satiated with drugs.
Always
And
the
not
way.
just any
Want more
gateway
power,
drug.
and then-
Pills so potent
I mean,
that
I know of what
a
becomes
gram
of
the
him,
stuff
like,
could kill you.
So,
later on.
Pretty bad. Kinda reminds me of college days, huh? Snow wizard.
Tetsuo's main ability is his constantly increasing psionic energy, growing more and more powerful over time. This is due to Tetsuo's link to, quote, the memories of the universe, end quote. It's weird.
Either way, Tetsuo leveled up from lame gangbuster to certified badass. This guy is a walking natural disaster. His telekinesis can shake the planet, easily cause earthquakes over a dozen miles below the surface. He can summon psychic barriers for defense and crush foes with friggin' gravity wells. He can dart around as a
Yikes.
literal bolt of lightning or even teleport in an instant.
Tetsuo's telekinesis can be so precise he can target and obliterate specific parts of the body. He can heal severe wounds quickly,
Okay.
but even after losing a whole limb, he can craft a new one using whatever nearby materials he wants.
With these powers,
Yeah,
Top Dog Canada didn't matter
I know
anymore.
we get some
Who
SLR
needed his
there.
approval? Tetsuo tasted
Not the best
that
thing to have
good
when
shit
fighting
and he was
Magneto.
hooked. And when he found out another Esper named Akira could deal him even more power, he rampaged through Tokyo to find him.
And this is where versions of the story differ.
Ahem. Spoilers ahoy!
You may be familiar with the 1988 animation, where Akira had been dissected
Never saw
for
it.
research. However, in the original manga, Akira is not only alive, but even more powerful.
Once that little
Oh.
runt nuked Tokyo, Tetsuo would erect the Great Tokyo Empire with Akira and himself as its leaders. But he ended up just abusing the position for endless sex and inflating his ego.
With Kanada's rebellion at his
Okay,
front
then.
door, Tetsuo took a turn for the worse. He had to fight.
Tetsuo's defeated other powerful espers, dodged light-speed lasers, and jumped to the moon faster than anyone could blink, and then punched a big old hole in it. And if you ask, Boomstick,
Okay.
wouldn't that mess up gravity on Earth? You would be right, because it totally did.
Oh,
Screw
shit.
the planet, I guess. Stupid moon.
Which brings us to Tetsuo's folly. His abuse of his powers spiraled until he lost
Oh,
control.
here it comes.
Unfortunately for Kanada's rebellion, this did not make Tetsuo an easier enemy to confront. Exactly opposite, in fact, has Tetsuo painfully mutated into an unstoppable behemoth.
Ugh.
Yep, that's not totally disturbing at all.
I'm happy to say the manga's version is even more disturbing.
Oh,
I mean,
joy.
I know babies can be monsters, but that's a whole nother level.
It is pain incarnate. I can relate. Another Esper described Tetsuo's struggle as ego death, which has multiple definitions,
get more
but in
part
this
in the
case
analysis.
is
I like
likely
that.
symbolic of the version attributed to drug use.
Yeah, it's described as a shedding of one's own identity, like how LSD can emulate a wild out-of-body experience, and you come back with a new perspective. Though this is maybe a little more extreme.
Don't do drugs.
In fact, you could say Tetsuo
saying.
was shedding his human body to play with the powers of a god.
I wish I could shed out of my body. But in this case, Tetsuo going full out of body meant becoming a mound of raw, ever-expanding energy.
Which almost nuked Tokyo all over again. And those explosions are not normal. I would know.
Top scientists in both the manga and animated versions describe these explosions as births of a new universe.
Given its properties of nuclear fusion and proton collapse, Tetsuo's mutated form was likely creating a Big Bang.
You know, the thing that started our whole universe?
Right, in the manga, it instead ended the Espers and their abilities once and for all. A testament that humankind is unsuited to wield the powers of the divine.
Though the
We
anime
really
is more
shouldn't.
trippy. Thanks to Akira and his buddies, Tetsuo got so high on ego death, he ascended time-space to become god of a new universe. Kinda worth it, right?
And yet, Kanada kept his empire up in his honor, now as the Great Akira Empire. Ironically, in death, Tetsuo finally received the attention he so desperately craved.
Pause. Okay, so I didn't talk a whole lot there. I was just trying to like take some info in. Yeah, I'm still siding with Magneto. Just because like some of the stuff I've heard, like they mentioned him battling Hercules, the same guy who arm wrestled Thor and threw the planet out of orbit. And battling the Phoenix Force, which is counterpart to Wanda's Chaos Magic. And I know they said that the Phoenix Force can destroy planets, but yeah, in a previous episode they said it could destroy the universe. And this is the Marvel Universe, which is many times bigger than our own universe. So even going by the whole, like, Tetsuo creating a new universe and saying he's that level, Magneto would still be higher. And I didn't bring this up, but I know Magneto has reacted to Mjolnir, which, yeah, I think that beats any speed feat that Tetsuo has, so, yeah, I'm still saying Magneto's gonna win. And play.
All right,
Right,
the combatants
that's all
are
set,
set.
and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a
death battle! You got this, Magneto!
Even in Japan, they fail to recognize our superiority.
Wrong country, Grandpa! You're in Akira turf now!
I really like the voice acting and the track.
You're dead meat!
Impudent child!
The hell are you calling child? I make the rules around here!
Yeah, that's the takeaway. Hey, you got this, Magneto. Kill him. I don't have anything against Tetsuo. I'm rooting for Magneto. And there goes the arm.
Parlor tricks for the master of magnetism.
Preview over.
I'll kill you! Your history, scumbag!
Okay, okay. Alright, the helmet's gone. That's,
I believe I've had enough tantrums to last a lifetime.
Oh, man, I had a feeling they'd go this route, and, oh boy. Come on, Magneto, you got this. Jesus.
Listen, welcome. I'll handle this on my own. Not die! Hurts. Help me.
Oh, creating metal blades from the iron in his blood. I like it.
Poor child.
I was about to say, like, what the hell just happened there?
Thank you.
You are welcome.
That didn't end how I thought it would. I mean, at least, like, the thank you and you're welcome part.
Tetsuo! Oh, God. I'm never doing that again.
Tetsuo's esoteric telekinesis and other bizarre abilities certainly gave Magneto pause, but the Master of Magnetism had greater control over his foe.
The numbers don't lie. Tetsuo cratering the moon was insane, but Magneto punched Iron Man with the force of the sun. And while Tetsuo jumped all the way
I didn't
to
even
the
think
moon,
about that.
Magneto could move across galaxies.
Against Tetsuo in his human form, Magneto obviously held a sizable advantage in power and speed.
But stats aren't all that matters. With his precise telekinesis, Tetsuo could just target Magneto's organs. GG, right?
Yes, but Magneto had similar skills. There are
Yeah, he could
very
do the
few
exact same
substances
thing.
on Earth that lack any metallic or magnetic component, and Magneto is very creative with his powers.
Which he could use to predict Tetsuo's teleportation and even shut down his telekinesis. And his scraps with Xavier prove he could handle Tetsuo's messing with his head. The biggest challenge for Magneto was when Tetsuo's gross mutated power came into play.
Especially
Man,
given
props
how
to the
detonations from his
artist
form
for
were
making
compared to
that.
of a Big Bang. Although the authenticity of that observation is questionable. In truth, the Big Bang was a sudden expansion of matter on a universal scale, whereas Tetsuo's explosions are more akin to nuclear blasts, clearly intentional given the post-war symbolism of the Akira story.
The whole creating an alternate universe bit wasn't even part of the original material, so we can't exactly call it canon.
But let's just say the comparison wasn't superfluous. Let's say Tetsuo did in fact cause a Big Bang capable of creating or destroying an entire universe, alternate or otherwise.
Oh boy,
Turns
here
out
it comes.
Magneto had the tools to stop that too. Helmet Head could overpower Hercules, who was strong enough to hold up the skies of Olympus, which is literally heaven and an alternate universe.
This doesn't necessarily mean Magneto could easily destroy a universe with the snap of his fingers, but it does prove he can match a similar level of power. And context is everything.
I'm sure there's more examples of that in Marvel, but...
exhibited proton collapse, meaning its atomic structure was primarily an unstable mess of neutrons and electrons. And Magneto has detected and commanded unstable electrons before. This means Magneto had every means available to take control over this Big Bang.
Damn, and I thought he could just move some metal around. It's like the question posed by some of the greatest prophets of our time. Fucking magnets. How do they even work?
Magneto's astonishing power and intelligent control over all things
Never
magnetism
change, Boomstick.
triumphed in the end.
Tetsuo pushed his luck, but didn't have the metal to pull off the win.
The winner is Magneto.
Congrats, Magneto!
Thank you for watching this
Alright,
episode. If you'd like
what's
to directly
next?
support
This
the whole Death
could
Battle
make
team,
me
click that join button and
a
consider
tad more
becoming a
excited
member.
for the
We'd
mid-season
really
finale,
appreciate it.
depending on what
Hope
this
you like
is.
the next one.
Okay, so it's Hercules... What? Okay, that next time is something I wasn't expecting, but let's just talk about this episode. Alright, so... Yay, Magneto won! Yeah, and the fight itself, I really liked. Good fight all around. I really like the track as well, and the voice actors in particular did really well. I mentioned before, props to the sprite artists, and like, just the team involved for Tetsuo's like monstrosity form. Like, god damn. Like, then just the transformation into it. Also, I guess this makes the second death battle to end with one combatant saying thank you to the person that kills them. Saitama and now Tetsuo. Although, contexts are very different. And also, Tetsuo's is after death, not before. So. But, anyway, solid episode around. And the next time, Hercules versus Sun Wukong. Okay, so when I first saw, like, I think it was like one of the vases from, like, the Hercules movie. Let me just go back to it. Well, at least that's what it looked like, to me. So I was thinking it was going to be Hercules versus, Maui. Because I know that's a big request, people want to see. And then I see that other image for Hercules, and I'm not sure what to make of that. Like, are they going with like the legends themselves and every incarnation of them throughout media? Or is it a specific Hercules and a specific Sun Wukong that we're talking about? I'm confused about the next time, but you know what? There'll probably be some clarification on that, like on cast or the commentary, or just something from the casting crew. I don't really know. But what I do know is Boba Fett's fight is absolutely the mid-season finale. If not, then he's definitely the second half's premiere episode. And, I I have to admit, I was kind of hoping that this next time would be Boba Fett's episode, because it would mean the mid-season finale is absolutely a surprise. And given that it's coming out during RTX, I was kind of hoping that, considering it would also come out on YouTube on the 4th of July, that maybe it would be Sarge versus Soldier. Or if not, then perhaps, like, a Ruby fight? Like, I don't know, Cinder, Azula, or Meta, Jean, Sokka. I don't know, those were just like the first Ruby fights I thought of. But yeah, I mean, we'll see, like, for definite, like, what the case is going to be later on. And before I wrap this up, I mentioned RTX. There's a video that I've wanted to make for a long time. I'm hoping I can get it out, like, before I go to RTX. It's just a matter of, like, any kind of tech issue, or just me actually doing it. Like, working up the drive to do it, or just if I don't have work. So, I am hoping that I'll get it out, like, before RTX, or at, like, the absolute bare minimum, get it out by the time this season of Death Battle is over. Because it's something I've wanted to make for quite some time, and might be my most ambitious project ever on this channel. So we'll see how that works out. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you for watching, all of that stuff, and here's a brand new outro. Bye.
Hello, Zuko here. This is your only mate. Like and subscribe to restore your honor.